So the referees missed a call that was so bad during Thursday Night Football, the entire NFL united, basically every single fan base, pissed off at the no call and demanding the NFL to do better. And even though it probably didn't change the outcome of the game, I do agree that change is needed. So I've got to dive into that as I also recap the Thursday night game and look at some key injuries from around the league heading into Week 8 right after. First up, the Vikings and Rams squared off on Thursday Night Football last night, and the story of this one, aside from a blatant, horrible missed no call at the end of the game, was the return of both Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua for the Rams. Kupp missed the last 4 games with an ankle injury, and Nacua missed the last 5 with a knee. But they were back in full form last night. Puka caught 7 passes for over 100 yards, and Kupp caught 5 for 51 and a touchdown. And with that 100-yard performance from Puka, he became just the 3rd player since the year 2000 to record 100 or more receiving yards in at least 8 of his first 19 career games. So yeah, he's basically him. The difference that both Puka and Cooper Kupp make in the Rams offense is night and day. Heading into last night, Stafford had just 3 touchdowns on the year, but he had 4 against the Vikings alone and carved up Minnesota's defense en route to a 30-20 W. You got to give credit to the Rams O-line as well. The Vikings were 3rd in sacks with 24 heading into the game, and they didn't record a single sack on Stafford last night. So the Vikings defense that started off the year on fire and hadn't allowed an opponent to score over 30 points all year just gave up back-to-back 30 burgers to their opponents. Justin Jefferson could be seen shaking his head on the sideline late in the game, pretty pissed off that they dropped 2 straight. I mean, he did all he could, catching 8 passes for 115 yards, including 1 incredible catch over the shoulder on the sideline. And in that performance, after that performance, he passed up Vikings legend Randy Moss for the most 100-plus receiving yard games through the first 5 seasons of a player's career. So yeah, a historic night for him, but unfortunately, it was a pretty piss-poor night for the refs. The Vikings were backed up to their own 5-yard line with under 2 minutes to go, down by 8. Sam Darnold dropped back in the end zone and was taken down for a sack, which resulted in a safety. Game over, basically. But anyone with 2 eyes and a brain cell, even just 1 brain cell, could see this was a textbook face mask penalty. The defender even put his hands on his head and ran away because he knew he messed up. Well, the refs didn't call it, and in the pool report after the game, the head official, Trey Blake, said the quarterback was facing the opposite direction from me, so I didn't have a good look at it. I did not have a good look, and I did not see the face mask being pulled, obviously. Here's Trey Blake's angle on this play, by the way. He's the ref in frame right here. So this man is actually either Ray Charles or he lied, because how the hell could he not see that? Oh, and by the way, I'm not saying that the Vikings would have won that game had the call been made. Their offense was ice cold, scoring just 2 field goals after their first 2 drives. So the odds of them going down the field and scoring a touchdown plus a 2-point conversion with under 2 minutes to go was pretty unlikely. But I would have liked to at least see them get a fair shot at it and not have the game end on such a horrible missed call in the most crucial moment of the game. So yeah, Trey's whole "I just didn't see it" answer sounds like a lazy cop-out instead of actually taking responsibility and admitting he effed up. So what can the league do to prevent stuff like this from happening in the future? Because this pissed everybody off. Well, I agree with Rich Eisen here, who said that replay assist needs to be there to help and that the league needs to figure it out. A face mask penalty in particular, that's not a judgment call. It's not like holding or pass interference. It's pretty objective, cut, clear, and immediately obvious if a player got his face mask yanked or not. All scoring plays and turnovers are already reviewed, so why can't something like that be reviewed and or overturned when technically that was a scoring play for the defense as it resulted in a safety? If the eye in the sky was allowed to overturn that from above, or even the refs after seeing the replay, it would have taken them 2 seconds to see Darnold was clearly face masked, and it would have been a no-brainer to reverse the safety and flag the Rams for the penalty, giving the Vikings another chance. Another option that could help is for the multi-billion-dollar corporation, the NFL, to actually hire full-time referees that are involved in year-round training programs in the offseason instead of going back to their actual jobs. But anyway, what do you guys think about this? Should replay assist be able to help in overturning calls or no calls like this, especially if it's not a judgment call and it was technically on a scoring play? Or Do you have a better solution altogether? Let me know either way in the comments down below. Now, unfortunately for the Vikings, not only did they lose this game, but they also lost their franchise left tackle Christian Darrisaw, who exited the game with a knee injury right before the half. There was some initial optimism that it was just an MCL sprain, but sadly, we don't know the details as of when I'm recording this video as to what exactly went on, but it was reported today that an MRI revealed he will require season-ending surgery. That's a devastating blow for the Vikings, as Darrisaw is one of the best left tackles in the game. He had allowed just 10 pressures and 2 sacks on 231 pass blocking snaps this season. Minnesota just locked him up this past offseason as well, giving him $104 million over 4 years and $59 million guaranteed. That deal, by the way, made him the highest paid left tackle in the league until Trent Williams signed his new deal with the Niners right before the season started. It was good timing on Darrisaw's part on signing that deal. Obviously, he didn't want to suffer a season-ending injury this year, but thankfully for him, he's locked up with a big chunk of guaranteed money, and thankfully for the Vikings, he is expected to make a full recovery and be back out there next season. Another star dealing with an injury, though not as severe, is rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels, who exited last week's game against the Panthers in the first quarter with a rib injury. He hadn't practiced all week, with his status for this Sunday's game against the Bears looking a little bleak. However, he did practice today, and Commanders coach Dan Quinn said, "We will assess how he responds to the work that we did over the next 48 hours. We really pushed it today." So it sounds like Jayden will be a game time decision, although Dr. Jeff Mueller thinks he'll be out this week, as the Commanders have been conservative with injury concerns, and Dan Quinn has stated multiple times throughout the season that Jayden needs to be safe on the field and that they have to protect him from himself at times. And that sentiment was kind of confirmed when Jayden was asked by the media if he expects to play this week.
Do I expect to play? I want to play, but not my decision.
So yeah, while I really wanted to see Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels go toe-to-toe this week, I think it makes sense for Jayden to sit out and get healthy, especially with the Commanders being a legitimate contender with their eyes on a deep playoff run. Next up, in some other quick hitter injury news, the Dolphins have confirmed that Tua Tagovailoa is starting this Sunday against the Cardinals, which we all kind of knew. It was trending that way, but now it is confirmed. Another Dolphin, though, sadly got ruled out today after fracturing his orbital bone at practice, and that was defensive tackle Zach Seiler. That's rather unfortunate because he's one of their best defensive players. On top of that, Tyreek Hill wasn't seen out at practice as he deals with some sort of foot issue. Head coach Mike Daniel did seem optimistic Tyreek will play this week, though, so I guess time will tell there. Then Aaron Rodgers has been dealing with an ankle, a knee, and a hamstring injury, aka this man is almost older than my father, but he is likely to play this Sunday against the Patriots. Micah Parsons hasn't played since week 4 with that ankle injury and is looking doubtful for this Sunday night against the Niners. They need him back out there in the worst way, though, as Dallas is second to last in points allowed this season. The Falcons will be without linebacker Troy Anderson this Sunday against the Bucs, as he's still recovering from a knee injury he suffered back in week 4. Safety Justin Simmons is also doubtful with the hamstring injury. He played through it last week, playing 100% of snaps on defense, but his status for this week is not looking good at the moment. Chris Olave will be back for the Saints this week after getting concussed on the Saints opening drive week 6. And that's good news for Spencer Rattler, who's set to be the starting quarterback for at least one more week, as Derek Carr is listed as doubtful with that oblique injury. There's a chance he's back next week, but it's probably too little too late for New Orleans, as they've dropped 5 straight games after starting 2-0. But they do have Marquez Valdes-Scantling as well now in the wide receiver room, so maybe he helps turn things around. Speaking of wide receivers, T. Higgins surprisingly popped up on the Bengals injury report today with a quad issue after being off the report all week. So he likely sustained it in practice, which is not great typically when that happens, and right now he's questionable for Sunday's game against the Eagles. Thankfully, Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow have been lighting it up this year, but no T. Higgins will definitely make that connection much more important for them this weekend. So there you go. In conclusion, the refs suck, injuries suck, but football is freaking awesome. And with that, I'll see y'all next time.